Okay, good morning, my good people, on this beautiful Monday, the 15th of July, 2024. I hope you're having a good day and you had a good weekend. And yeah, I want to talk about sexual traumas and what it actually means, and mainly the signs that you have these traumas. I come across a lot of people who behave in a certain way, showing these signs, and they're not even aware that they actually need to get help around these areas. All right. Now, sexual traumas, we talk about bad experiences that you might have had. All right. Either growing up or recently in the years. Some of them you remember them vividly. Some of them you remember them very well. You can even sometimes close your eyes and feel like you are right there in that situation at that particular time, right? So these now end up manifesting in your relationship, and you find yourself doing things that you never thought you would do. Some of them are out of character, and some of them they happen continuously. All right. And some would happen on triggers. So I'll also talk about the triggers just now. So these bad experiences you'd find with some of them were with people that we allowed in our spaces. Some of them would be like rapes, and so forth, where you never gave consent. Some of these, you gave consent. You were in a relationship with this person, and a lot of things happened, and the situation, it was too traumatic for you. All right. Now, these things, you would find Uguti, these experiences, some of them, you experienced them personally. Some of them, you never experienced them personally, but somebody in your family, somebody close to you, somebody you love, experienced this, but because of how you are, you internalized that, and somebody else's trauma became now your trauma. Okay, so this is what now would call secondary trauma effects. So it didn't happen directly to you, but it happened to someone that you love, someone you care about, and so forth. And some of these, they happened once off, and some of these is things that would happen repeatedly over a period of time. Now, the triggers, they vary into a lot of different types. Okay, people are triggered by things like smells. You smell that environment, you smell that person who traumatized you, you smell that place, just any smell associated with that, it can trigger it. The touch, I could come innocently and touch you in a certain way, not even in a sexual way, but you'd find that touch is associated with the touch that you experienced at the time. Maybe I just grab your hand like this playfully, and then automatically it just takes you there. And sometimes it could be just even the sounds, some songs that could play. And I had this lady. She had a song playing. We were doing a session. There was a song playing in the background, like we have a song now playing. It was Jahim. The song, is it Jahim? Yes, I think Jahim. That says, if I don't make it home tonight, I want. And she started crying. Pastor X, switch it off, please. I'm like, why? No, switch that song off. And then she started like getting a bit aggressive. And I realized, okay, there's a problem there. It's a trigger. Some places you take someone innocently, you take them to Sun City, and they get to Sun City, all they think about is the trauma. When are you thinking you're doing something nice? You take them to Umhlanga Rocks, and you get there, a person starts like, no, can we live here? Can we find another place? These are triggers, all right? So basically, almost all your senses, all right? All your senses could be triggers to any traumatic experience that you have felt. Now, some of the symptoms that you will see is somebody avoiding sex. When they avoid sex and they start saying, no, but I don't have sexual appetite, I'm not a sexual person, there's something behind it. Either when they broke their virginity, it was just too painful, they were traumatized by the amount of blood that came out and all those kind of things, right? So these are just some of the things. They will avoid sex. They will have fears of abandonment, okay? They always think, if you leave them, then what would happen to them because they don't feel safe? They will have anxiety around the topic of intimacy. So the minute you start talking intimacy, they avoid it at all costs. They will be like shy. No, can we not talk about this? Do we have to talk about this now? Okay. They will have low self-esteem during sex, before sex, in the bedroom and outside of the bedroom. But they will also have irritabilities that are very consistent. They get irritated easily by small things. They will have nightmares. If you are awake and they are sleeping, they will have these nightmares. They start even talking. They start even acting. You'll see them fighting, pushing back, and so forth. And they most likely prone to have a depression more than anyone else. They get easily depressed, and they can also resort to self-harm. They would normally have suicidal thoughts. And you also see them by having some level of disregard for their own internal needs and wants. They just don't take care of themselves. They just neglect them because they're thinking, if I take care of myself and I look good, then I'm inviting, all those things that have happened. And they have a huge level of, a very high level of insecurities. So they're very insecure. They scrutinize everything because of what they feel. And they're always having a sense of guilt. And they resort to unhealthy coping strategies. And these unhealthy coping strategies could be drinking, drugs, and hurting other people as well. And the relationship impact, they tend to be very distant. If you're finding yourself distant to your partner, there could be a trauma there. It might not necessarily be sexual, or it's sexual, but you are not aware of it. You've never internalized it, but it's manifesting. They tend to have poor boundaries. They have poor boundaries, especially with opposite sex friends or partners, and they have serious trust issues, and they have very unsafe patterns. They wouldn't mind to sleep with someone without protection, someone that they don't know. And sometimes they will think about it after, but at that particular time, they just don't care. If you are suffering from this, we're running a special. We have some promotional stuff that we are having, 50% off the sessions. We've got books, get help.